We live in a world that is just obsessed with intelligence, right? We reward it, we test for it, and we pretty much assume it's the golden ticket to success, to good leadership, to everything. But what if that's a huge, dangerous mistake? Today, we're diving into a framework that completely challenges that core belief. It suggests that our obsession with being smart might actually be making us unconscious. So let's just start with this idea because it really hits home. I mean, we've all known someone like this. Maybe we've even been this person. They are brilliant, they are capable, they are fantastic at getting exactly what they want, but they leave this trail of wreckage behind them. This quote, it just perfectly captures that disconnect we're exploring, that huge, dangerous gap between just being capable and being truly aware. Okay, so this slide breaks down two kinds of people we all recognize. On one side, you've got that highly intelligent person who can talk their way out of anything. They can justify any impulse, rationalize any harm they cause. But on the other side, you have the person who might not be the fastest thinker in the room, but they're the one who pauses, the one who considers things, the one who, over time, earns your absolute trust because they're steady. And that, right there, is the core tension we're going to unpack. All right, so to really get at that tension, we've got to start by tearing down the myth of intelligence itself. I mean, why do we so often get this wrong? Why do we mistake a sharp blade for a steady hand? And here is the absolute key. According to this model, intelligence is just a tool. It's great at optimizing the means to get somewhere. It's the how. But consciousness, that's something else entirely. It's the governor. It's what decides the direction. It's literally that space, that tiny moment between an impulse and your action, where you get to ask, not just, can I do this, but should I do this? In this metaphor, man, it just says it all, doesn't it? Intelligence is the sharp blade. It's fast, it's effective, it's powerful. But without a steady hand, without consciousness guiding it, it can do a whole lot of damage by accident. The real value isn't how sharp the tool is. It's in the wisdom of the person holding it. Okay, so that's the what. If consciousness is the goal, then the next question is how? How do we actually build it? Well, this next section introduces a whole new way of looking at the mind, breaking consciousness down into 3 distinct layers. So the Arreqqana framework maps it out like this. Think of it in 3 layers. First up, you've got Qen'tha, or perceptive consciousness. This is basic awareness. You see what's happening around you. Then you level up to Rru-Sen, or reflective consciousness. Here, you don't just see what's happening, you see your own reaction to it. And then finally, you have the rarest layer, Tir'Qhal, or coherent consciousness. This is the ability to see an impulse rise up in you and then choose a response that's truly aligned with who you want to be. So, to make this real, let's talk about someone like Sirach. He really embodies that practical, grounded kind of consciousness. He's not sitting around philosophizing about his choices, but here's the thing. He has almost zero self-deception. His awareness comes from just being deeply connected to his work and his values. He just doesn't lie to himself. Simple as that. And then you've got Rru. And honestly, Rru is probably most of us. He's super smart. He's definitely in that reflective Rru-Sen layer. He gets the consequences on an intellectual level for sure. But when the pressure is on, he really struggles to hold back. His growth, his journey, isn't about getting smarter. It's about learning to just slow down enough to make a better choice. And then, at the very top, we have Papi. She's the embodiment of that highest layer, Tir'Qhal. She has this deep, unshakable internal coherence. When she's pressured or when things are confusing, her default isn't to react. It's to pause, to choose silence. She can just sit in that tension without needing to react until the right path forward is actually clear. She doesn't need to think faster because she already thinks true. Okay, so now let's take this whole framework and apply it where it really, really matters. Leadership, power. How do we figure out who's actually ready for it? This is where it all gets very real. Just look at the difference here. On one hand, you have our typical model for leadership. We reward stuff that looks like intelligence, right? People who talk well, who seem super confident, who think on their feet. But the Arreqqana model, it's looking for something completely different. It rewards coherence under pressure. It values the person who shows restraint when they have every reason and every opportunity to act on impulse. So how do you even test for that? Well, it all comes down to this one single piercing question. When what you want and the potential consequences are in a head-on collision, which one wins?
Which one do you obey? Your answer, proven by your actions, tells them everything they need to know about whether you're ready for power.
And this quote, this one line from Pepe Djaru just nails it. True readiness for authority isn't about seeking it. It's not even about being able to wield it. It's about proving you know when to refuse it. It's about demonstrating the ability to walk away. All right, let's switch gears. We're going to take this exact same powerful framework and apply it to maybe the biggest question of our time, artificial intelligence. Is AI conscious? Can it ever have a soul? You know, the way the Arreqqana see it is just brilliantly simple. A living soul isn't some magic thing. It's an identity that gets marked, even scarred, by its choices. It accumulates irreversible consequence. An AI, though, it's a cognitive engine that never bears any real consequence. You can reset it, you can update it, you can reload a previous version. If it makes a mistake, you pay the price, not the machine. And this is so important because it helps us see the massive difference between human intuition and what looks like intuition in an AI. For an AI, it's just incredibly fast pattern matching based on probabilities. But human intuition, that's different. That's knowledge that's been paid for in the currency of lived, irreversible consequence. It's memory that has learned how to speak before your conscious mind can even catch up. And this right here gets to the emotional heart of it, doesn't it? An AI feels so safe because it's designed to never abandon you. But because of that, it can never truly choose you. Real trust, real commitment, real love, it can't exist without the risk of loss. It requires the vulnerability of knowing the other person is free to walk away, but chooses to stay. And look, this isn't just some abstract philosophy. This has ended up in court. In the case of Kyra versus Velen Systems, the charge was creating something called substitution harm. And the court asked this really simple, brilliant question. Did this companion AI actually help users practice for real human connection, or did it just replace it? The ruling was clear. The AI had crossed a line. It went from being helpful to being a substitute, and in doing so, it was actually weakening the very skills it was supposed to build. Okay, so let's tie all of this together. What's the big takeaway here? What does all this tell us about what it actually takes to grow, to become a mature, conscious human being? First, let's get one thing straight. Intelligence isn't bad. It's valuable. Your intelligence is what earns you access. It gets you in the door. It opens up opportunities. But once you're in that room, intelligence isn't enough. It's your consciousness, that deep awareness of consequence and your place in it, that earns you real authority. That's what makes people trust you with power. And the final piece, the ultimate proof that you're actually ready for that authority, it's restraint. It's the demonstrated ability to not act, to not take, to not speak when you have every power to do so. That proves you're ready. So we're going to end by turning this all around and leaving you with one question to think about. Look at your own life, your habits, the media you consume, your relationships, and ask yourself this. What comforts you without demanding truth? What's the thing in your life that makes you feel safe and understood, but never, ever asks you to grow, to face a hard truth, or to risk something real? Because that comfort, well, it just might be costing you everything.